hanging out with me for that short stream yesterday. I appreciate it. I was able to get some rest. I am well rested and ready to go for a Thursday that's actually going to do something today. It should be a lot of fun. Waiter ACRX by Mara. Space. Hello, hello, hello. ACB and I guess DGLY is the sixth one I want up here. All right. We go again. We go again. New day, new way, guys. We do have multiple lawsuits out from Trump, so this thing is just going to be drawn out for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm going to do my best to try to stay away from it. Got lawsuits in Michigan, Nevada, and Pennsylvania right now. It's going to get long. It's going to get drawn out. Remember, my prediction on this election was that it would eventually end up in the Supreme Court, and they will decide who wins this. Not sure which way that goes, though. Traditionally, we've seen it go in the favor of the Republicans, but time will tell. I think the legal argument of not every vote should count is difficult at best. ACRX Day. It is ACRX Day, guys. I will be watching that very closely today into their earnings. The market the market has almost moved past it right now. DGLY is going to do quite well on protests. Well, that's it. Trump is going to legally contest. And I mean, I don't know about the argument holding weight. Sometimes the Supreme Court, I mean, Scalia with Bush. For those of you that were around when that happened, Scalia with Bush was unprecedented, where he actually was able to make a legal case for not every vote should be counted, because it would have caused irreparable harm to Bush's results, and that line of reasoning actually passed back when Bush won against Gore. So to say, well, this is impossible, the Supreme Court is never going to actually rule in favor of not counting every vote. They've done it before. So it'll be interesting to watch. In the event that they eliminate the early counts and late counts in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Nevada, Trump would win all three of those states. So the potential for the Supreme Court to hand him the election is still there, which is a little bit nutty. But for now, we got to watch. Just got to wait and watch. They've done that before. They've done that before. They overruled because it's a federal matter, because it affects a federal election. They've done it before. It would cause chaos for sure. Don't get me wrong. If the Supreme Court hands Trump the election, DGLY is severely undervalued because there will be protests and riots like you have never seen. Now that being said, I don't know that the other side is true. If they ETMs tomorrow, I think. If they rule against Trump, I don't know that the opposite isn't going to be true. I don't know that you're not going to see riots and outrage. So, I mean, we're kind of in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So, ETM's tomorrow pre-market. Okay. So again, guys, ETM for me is not a play into today. It's a play into late December, January. But so a theory that I had been throwing around, and this is not anywhere near as firm or close as the dissolution of the EU, but over the next 10 years, I don't think it's impossible to see a Republican States of America and a Democratic States of America. I don't know that that's impossible. There's just such a clear divide between the center of the country and the coasts. Um, But that being said, guys, it's going to be a crazy day today. SPY is looking almost 350 pre-market here. Morning Fury. Big shout out to all you guys on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of you. I am looking at tickers today. Yep. Yep, we're done with politics. We're going to get back to the regular swing of things here, guys. So if you have tickers you want me to check out, I will take a look at those today, break them down. Probably going to be around to 1 or 2 o'clock today. Just hanging out with you guys, figuring out what's happening here. We will probably take a look at GameStop today with Nintendo crushing it. GameStop is bound to do quite well, uh, so that is a potential play. The position in Mara is doing quite well. Mara's up to 250. We can definitely add Neo to the list. Just leave this up. All right, so if you have tickers you want me to look at, guys, feel free to just shut them out and I will write them down. Um, am I coming through a bit quiet? Really? Hmm. I don't know why that would be. Is that better? Maybe I was just sitting too far away. GLD, oh, we can take a look at the gold. Anything else that we want to be looking at today, guys? You guys don't have to shut them out right now. We can shut them out as we go through. Let's get the marbles up and we can decide what we're watching as we go into the market today. VLX, yeah, for sure. DraftKings, absolutely. One letter name. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. If you guys are new here, I always love hearing what you guys are trading, what you're kind of doing. The more people that we actually get in here, it's kind of fun to see how quickly and diverse this community is getting. It's been a crazy past couple of weeks, to be honest, to see the channel net, yeah, to see the channel growth over the last couple of weeks, where we went from, the 4 a.m. streams where we were seeing, maybe at the top end 30 viewers, and now we're getting closer and closer to starting with 30 viewers. Can I ask you why you choose TD instead of IB? I like the charting better on TD and Canadian equity. It's tied to my banking here in Canada, so that's why I use TD. I can't explain the Mara play. I use interactive brokers for my options because the cost in TD is too high for options trading, in my opinion. But the equity, I prefer it for equity. I also love the charting tool. I'm not a big fan of IB's user interface. All right, what are we doing today? Let's go with the twisting bumpy track today. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I will be racing against you. Whoever wins, um, yeah, whoever wins gets to pick the ticker that we watch today. Scotia iTrade. I've looked at it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I do prefer TDs. I know I've got a buddy that's using Desjardins, and I hate Desjardins. It is terrible. TD, as far as Canada goes, I think is the best. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in Stocky's chat, and I love it for that. But yeah, it's definitely difficult sometimes to get a question in edgewise. So well, I do my best to answer every question and look at every ticker that's called out. Um, who knows? If I had 2,000 people in here, it would probably be difficult to do that. But at the same time, a lot of folks here just have me on in the background and are listening to me like white noise. So we don't see that same kind of flooding of the chat, which is kind of nice. All right, let's get the ball rolling here, guys. Marcus, I don't know if you got in time there, buddy. I don't see you. I think you just missed the cut, Marcus. My bad. Rigged. I know. Round and round we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. We go into hole. We go into hole. Who's first at the hole? Saki would love a win. Rich Scott showing all those subs out there. Out of my way, subs. I got this beat. I've got $6 calls on ACB, and I'm happy to just watch it continue to run. The closer we get to Biden being declared the winner, the more those pot stocks are just going to keep running up. So I wouldn't take a bet against ACB. Now, obviously, I'm a swing trader more than I am a day trader. So day trading, there may be a possibility on that play. Profit taking early. Holy cow. Man, this area really, really cucks you. Look at how slow things are going. Yeah, see, Goldenrod's got the idea. Millennials got the idea. Forget that nonsense. I'm going right through. I'll show you boys how this is done. End of November. Goldenrod did it twice, just jumped it twice. He wants it. Yeah, for me, I thought we would have at least an initial declaration of who the president will be by the end of November. So November 20th were more than enough for me. I believe they are up today. They are profitable. The puts obviously are gone. But oh, Goldenrod got trapped up. Oh no, he navigates it like a champ. Goldenrod wants this. He brought his A game today. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Rich Scott taking a page out of his book, going around. Got a nice tube here into a couple more of these slowing things. This one wasn't. I mean, it's a very clean cut course. Yeah, it's a very clean cut course. Some of the people are hitting the boosts. There wasn't a lot of dropping off. I like the ones where people die. I gotta be honest. I like the ones where people die. Ignore the leaderboard here, guys. As we go around this tube, people get real confused. Rich Scott's still in the lead. He's been holding this since the beginning. He's looking solid here. He might come in on the finish. Goldenrod misses the second boost. Okay, Kenny. It's a three-way race. I'm coming for you, though, boys. I'm coming. I don't know that I catch you. It's all going to come down to this last little section here, man. It's tight. It's tight. It's tight. It's tight. Rich Scott. Rich Scott. Rich Scott takes it, guys. So just drop the ticker you want me to watch in chat there, and that will be what we watch on the market heading into the day. Well done, sir. Well done, well done, well done. We'll go to the big sheet here, and whatever ticker you want, we will throw that in. There's lots of great choices to make today. Lots of fun stuff to watch. Net it is. Let's go to pre-market on net, see how they're doing. So they're at 57.58 right now. ACB pre-market is up to 520, so it continues to run. I don't have a price target. I had a $6 strike. It was kind of just buy put, buy a call, and let's see how she do. In reality, that was the play, was take the strangle, because either way I saw pot stocks really running one way or the other, really hard, really fast.
Oh my god, these forced ads are just ugh, I hate Twitch.
I can't. Yeah, and sadly, I can't do anything about the forced ads, man. You can't turn them off.
I know most of the ad blockers are not working right now.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
I
morning.
don't
How
know
long
if
do you think the
they
market
I
will
don't know
go
what kind
up?
of loophole they found, but
Uh,
I think they're only on their game right now. Like Twitch is on their game right now because it's a like still considered election season and or it's also like prime ad season as well.
yeah. I think the market's going to continue going up until we actually have a president here somewhere. Now, is it going to keep going up by leaps and bounds? I don't think so. But as each of these states get locked in, and then the subsequent court cases can start to get resolved, I think that we're going to be there. But
We are. I saw movement in bonds, and I suspect it's having to do with their elections. But I also think that I'm not sure if it's like, yeah, it could be stimulus. It could also be, I don't know, just putting out a wild thought here, possibly interest rates raising.
Baba's going to do well, guys. Baba. So the negative press that came from Baba on Ant has actually nothing to do with the business operations of Baba itself. Baba is going to freaking crush their earnings. And even here in the States, a lot of people are trying to look to Baba because Amazon is taking so long. Um, how does the debt
Amazon get
market affect the stock market? I don't know. I'm a basic bitch. I don't play on the debt market.
on gets their shit from mostly from Alibaba, anyways.
Yeah.
Jason, that's a Rita question.
Yeah. I'm a basic bitch. That's a five head question. No, well, ACRX has earnings today, but that's never been the play for me. The play for me has been on the joint formulary for the Navy and Air Force also picking up meds. No, you don't have to be sorry. Do you think FRO will ever return to the $8 to $10 range? I don't know, but I'll put it on the list here and we can take a look at FRO. It's not one that I've looked at lately, for sure. So
I'm sorry. You're not sorry, Jason. I'm sorry. You don't out sorry the Canadians.
I am sorry. Um, CVS, Rite Aid, I think they both do well. I can't see how a pharmacy line is going to do poorly during this time.
This is also
Of course, it did,
seasonal.
Mighty Pond. MFA has a way of doing that. As soon as you get in, it drops to give you a better entry, and you go, oh, great. And then as soon as you sell, MFA likes to run 30%.
Shit, MFA did run.
Yeah, Square made a lot on Bitcoin. We were looking at their SEC filing, and Square definitely had a pile of money coming in from Bitcoin. So I think that they're going to do quite well. Kivatero.
Holy shit, Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm
Oh my god.
pretty happy with Mara's performance. I'm glad I got in when I did.
Wait, Hitch, what? Hitch is here.
What? Hi. Hello.
Sorry, I got thrown off. I was like, wait, Ginger's here or is it Hitch? And I look over, it's Hitch. I'm like, wait, what's Hitch doing here?
I have to go for work at
First day.
the top of the hour. Yeah, so
Oh, I'm so proud of you, man. It's your first big boy day.
I'm a big boy now.
Yes, that was funny, Cybot. Trump yelling at the count. That was funny. Um, it was well constructed. I give it 3 memes out of 5. Uh, had you found an actual picture of pissed off Trump, I think it would have been funnier. Um, I think if you had had a picture of the count laughing, that also would have been funnier. So 3 out of 5 on the memeing. You could have had a 5 out of 5. The concept was there. The execution was poor, but it may also just be a disconnect between the German culture and North American culture as far as my meme analysis goes. So I do appreciate the effort, though, Cybot. Good try. Good try. Do they even have Sesame Street in Germany? Is that a thing? I would think they have their own kind of kids shows and stuff. Sesame Starby?
Is that some sort of space like weapon?
Is this some sort of meme Shark Tank? It is. Please submit all memes, and I will be doing meme review in the future. Spencer McPherson, thanks for joining us from LinkedIn. Vietnam flashbacks, yikes. From Kodak, yeah, good old Kodak. Look up German SpongeBob. I think I'm gonna pass on that. Feels like that's gonna not do well. Net, Net is
For
up at the gate, but I think pretty much everything is up at the gate, isn't it? Is that just what stonks
for
do
uh,
now?
for Kodak, anytime you see some sort of like, I really think this is a like an actionable play, but anytime you see some sort of hype train thing, like I don't know, blockchain or something low effort that's a hype train thing, like something that they don't have to really produce too much of. But blockchain or even a COVID thing, I think Kodak is a viable hype play because they'll just say something just to try to get in on the hype to try to pump their stock. I know you said that they had the facilities for the COVID thing, Millennial, but I don't know. Their CEO just strikes me as that type of person to just say something just because he knows it's going to pump his stock.
Well, I appreciate your insight, but I'm going to stick with what I know with bio and Kodak equity. I'm not playing Kodak on. Well, I am. That's a lie. I am playing Kodak on options as well. Really long options though.
Oh, I just start like if it was me and I had some free floating capital, I'd probably just start collecting some shares and the hopes that the CEO is just going to be like, oh look, I can just say this and it'll drive my stock up a little. Okay.
I still think they get the loan. Like that this insider trading thing actually doesn't affect the loan.
Which one for Kodak?
Yeah.
That's Kodak's very untouchable.
Yeah, in my mind, this is just a pause. Once they rule that this guy either did insider trading or not at the SEC, the loan is just going to be reissued, and subsequently it's going to run. I imagine DGLY is doing quite well this morning, given the riots and protesting has started up. It looks like everybody was just exhausted and kind of flabbergasted yesterday. They weren't sure what was happening. And then as people kind of woke up into last night, the riots and protests started. So
That's the one thing
DGLY,
people. That's
OLN, SWBI, those kind of gun stocks, defense stocks are going to do quite well, I think, over the next little bit here.
that's the one thing people need to learn about the corruption is that anytime you get fined for something by the SEC, it's like a fraction of what you make
Yeah.
compared to how much you get fined.
From what I heard, Washington, Portland were the big ones. New York also had some altercations with the police last night. So, which isn't a surprise. Those three cities make sense. Washington D.C. Obviously is going to be a focal point for both Black Lives Matter as well as Make Every Vote Count, which is what the new protests are petitioning under, the Every Vote Count movement. Portland's just going to keep doing what they've been doing. That they paused it all is kind of a shocker to me. So that they took a night off was nice because they've been at it for so long. But they're right back at it. And New York, right? It's a hell of a town. So net looks like it had a minor gain here. It's not doing anything crazy. I don't know if this is just going to take off for the moon.
Wait, so they rioted even though the Democrats won in their state? Like that doesn't make sense. I thought they would have rioted if the Republicans won.
No, they're rioting because they
Because they can.
Well, no, they're protesting because the results haven't been announced yet, and they feel like they should have been, right?
It's happy.
So ACB is up 11.75%. It's now at 12%. ACB is going to continue to run here, guys. The closer we get to a Biden confirmation, expect this thing to just take off. 10, 15 bucks. And I know people are like, oh, but it's ACB. It won't really do that. No, it will do that for a couple
It's
reasons.
a hype stock.
One being that retail traders are insane. Two being that pot is pot. Three, Biden likes pot. You can tell his short-term memory isn't what it used to be, and that's from a lifelong user. So, in my opinion, I have to add that to the end of that because I can't factually prove that he smokes pot, but I'm sure that man's had a little edible every now and again. You know what I mean?
They got to keep him subdued somehow.
I would be holding pretty tight to my tan. If you guys are holding tan, in my opinion, I would be holding pretty tight to it. If I had tan in my portfolio, I'd be holding it, given that we are looking, watching, and waiting with anticipation for Biden to give it the big old green middle finger. One of his first points of action in office, he has said that you as Americans will be rejoining the Paris agreement. So no sooner did we lapse that out. 2 days ago, you guys left the Paris Accord. You'll be joining it as soon as possible if Biden gets back in, which is tan to the moon. If I draw a line straight up, unfortunately, Rich Scott, I just don't have the powers that Stocky has with the lines. Spy decided that it's just gonna go today, apparently. Space is up. My board is green with the exception of KODK, which is kind of sideways. Baba's down a little bit too. But by and large, it's looking like a very green day. Yeah, not having the Senate is definitely going to throw a wrench in the works because they're just not going to approve anything that's tied to green energy. Well, you could open up TAN. You can actually open up TAN and see. Do you think it's a good time to enter MFA? I'm not going any Fury. No, MFA is too closely tied to New York, and they are calling for an absolute implosion of their real estate at the moment. I would not go to MFA. I have sold all of my holdings in MFA. I'm not playing around with that. New York is looking like a powder keg, ready to explode. Had a question about Baba. Okay, go ahead, shoot. Question on Baba. Here we go. What's
Yeah,
she gonna be?
Laney, I thought Baba was having issues recently. How long is that play for?
Baba?
Yeah, they just lost a merger
I
or
don't
an
think that.
acquisition.
Well, I mean, Jack Ma with the Ant Financial is the thing, but for me, I think Baba plays into Q2. I don't think Baba hurts through Q4. I think this is a buy the dip. Chem Life, Menos 1 HP. Thanks for the follow, guys. Much appreciated. Yeah, but I think Baba plays into Q2.
Okay. Yeah, they were talking about it on Bloomberg. When they failed to reach an position, it basically brought the entire Chinese market down with it.
Yeah, which is expected, and I think China, in many ways, realizes now that they can actually manipulate Baba on that. But I think Baba, you have to treat Baba like Amazon right now, and I know for a lot of people that's hard to do. But if you saw Amazon take a massive dump because on election night because you saw that Trump was potentially winning and you know that he doesn't like Amazon, wouldn't you buy Amazon on the dip? In my opinion, if it was my portfolio and I was taking that play, I'd be bullish on Amazon. And so for me, China does not want in any way to cripple Baba. Baba makes them a big deal globally. It's a good thing for the Chinese economy. Now, Ant Financial Group is a bit of a different thing, but Baba's going to do just fine, I think, into Q2, into April of next year. Do I think Trump still has a chance? I think this is going to the Supreme Court. We have 4 lawsuits filed, 2 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Wisconsin, 1 in Michigan, and I think Nevada. They're also looking at putting a lawsuit in. So ultimately, I think those states are all going to go to the Supreme Court. They're talking about dropping one in Georgia as well. That's going to go to the Supreme Court. So ultimately, in my mind, this is far from over. But I think that we do see the Associated Press anyway. Laxa Rings Metal 69. Thanks for following, man. I do think we see the Associated Press calling the election for Biden, but I think that there's going to be, because we have until December 15th for the electoral to actually vote, expect there to be a Supreme Court rush on these cases and rulings. And we'll see where it goes from there. So, just looking at the board here, waiters creeping up. ACRX is around that 185 mark. Really think we see ACRX run into the end of the day here. Good morning, Logor Hunter. Do you think Biden resets foreign policy with Europe, China? Less hardline than Trump? Absolutely. Biden's limp wrist. He's going to tie himself to Germany and he's going to do whatever China tells him to do. He's already made that quite clear. He sees China as an ally, not an enemy. And that's going to be, I think, ultimately to the detriment of U.S. jobs. But I mean, that is what it is. That's what the people voted for. You voted for China to be the producer and for you to be the consumer. Yep, there are people that voted for that, and that's there, and that's the thing that's going to happen. So, as people trading the market, we don't trade dreams; we trade what will be. So the reality is, China stocks have to be looked at, unfortunately, now as legitimate, which is hard for me to do because we don't actually have any way to track those as being legitimate. So it's going to be interesting. The one play that I can say for sure is going to look really tasty is Neo. There's no surprise that Neo has run up and it's going to keep running up. I still am not going to buy China stocks. That they can essentially make up whatever numbers they want and we can't prove or disprove them is scary as hell. Do you think Biden helps WPRT? Yes and no. So the thing with the U.S. is, while the rest of the world is talking about natural gas and propane conversion on diesel vehicles, the U.S. isn't talking about that. They're solely focused on the EV sector. So while WPRT is really good for China and Europe, where propane and natural gas conversion is hyped, it won't be as much in the U.S. Yeah, WPRT. The big play on WPRT is approval in China for sure. That's the big thing there. Okay, so net is starting to come down a little bit. I expected to see it level out. It's not really going to do anything crazy. I'm not surprised if you have precious metals that they are printing. We are going to look at tickers today, guys. At 9:45, we will start down the list. We got about 8 or 9 of them here. I'm going to hang out with you guys into the midday at least. ACRX earnings tonight, guys. I think that we just see ACRX buy up. I'd love to see it go back up to that $2 mark before earnings, but I will be on that ACRX earnings call tonight. I am very excited for it. Let's head over to will I stream the earnings call? I guess I should, huh? Um, I guess I should come back and stream that. I've been waiting 8 months for it. I might as well stream it, right? So yeah, I guess I will come back and do the ACRX earnings call tonight. I hadn't planned on doing that, but now that you guys are saying it, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. Okay. That iLodex, I cannot answer for you. I wanted to go to Earnings Whisper here and see what the consensus is on ACRX to see if they consider it a beat. There is no confirmed time on Waiter. So I think it's going to beat. 61% of people agree with me. The analysts on this all think it's going to beat. I think it's going to go up 61%. So I'm in the majority on ACRX. Waiter is the one that was a little bit nuttier. Apparently there were those out there calling out my analysis of Waiter as a stock. And perhaps that Millennial was a bit of a tool and didn't know what he was talking about with Waiter. Okay. Okay, so 4:30 Eastern, I'll be back then, guys. Maybe a little bit before then to do the call. But for those of you that have been around with me since January, I'm sure that you guys have enjoyed Waiter as much as I have. And for those of you that think that Waiter is not a play, well, don't take it. Yeah, just don't take it. I'll let you know how it works out for me. Let's take a look at these. The Biden portfolio is now up $14,000. This was the $100,000 portfolio that we started in October. It is now up 14.2%. The Trump portfolio is now down. Come on, update. Rich Scott 052. Thanks for the follow, man. Much appreciated. Is down about 4.8%. So the Biden portfolio is through the roof here. The leaders on this are Sol, SOL, Neo, and General Electric. The ad spend portfolio is going to start to come to fruition. Currently, it's up 21%. We took this one at the end of August. We put this one together. This is into Q1 ad spend. So it's up 21%. So that one's looking really solid. Fire season is done. We retired this, but it did quite well for us, 6,500. You'll see that it has come back down since then. So the exit early October on the fire portfolio, this is one that I will probably look at playing seasonally, or what do you call that, annually? This will come back. Fire season is every year, so this is a portfolio I'm going to keep and maintain. I need to make a hurricane one at some point, but I'll keep these election ones and change them from Trump to Biden to Republican Democrat. So that next election, I have these already pre-built. The second wave, we did add numbers to. Currently, it is up 3.4%. We created this yesterday, or on the 3rd. Starting capital was $55,000. It's already up $2,000. Gun stocks are definitely a buy the dip right now. Either way, whatever happens here, things are getting nutty. I believe ETM earnings are confirmed for tomorrow. Yeah. Everybody in chat, just say goodbye to Hitch. He is headed off to his real world job. He is a big boy now. He's no longer a degen, and he will be missed daily being a shit disturber with us here in chat. But he's better than us now. So bye.
Make friends and then use them.
Better yet, Hitch, make friends for me so that I can use them.
As the businesses.
No, but we're super hyped for Hitch. He worked his ass off and he's seeing the fruits of that labor. So good for him. Onwards, upwards, and hopefully he comes to Philly and we can go catch a Pittsburgh Penguins game and drink and cigars and whatnot. What do I think about Ion? I'll add it to the list, guys. That's enough shooting the shit. Let's get down to breaking down some of these tickers that you want me to take a look at. ETM is confirmed tomorrow pre-market. So if ETM is a consideration, what does Hitch do? Hitch is Hitch. Am I allowed to publicly state this? Or? Without his approval, I'm not going to say. Let's just say he's a professional in what he does, and I'll leave it at that. He is the joke on the first day. What's your position in ACRX and how many shares do I have in it? I have about $8,000 in it. I've got 4.4 thousand shares, so 4,400 shares with a DCA of $1.76.
How about Palantir this morning? Wow.
What's it doing? Things and stuff?
Up 8% right now.
Yeah, that's not surprising because they got Europe, right?
I know. I got in how many 100 shares at 10.58 a couple days ago.
How about that ACB up 18%?
Oh,
I haven't even. I mean, I can understand why. I haven't seen it though.
IV's probably still spiking because Biden's not like, but they're calling it already. But
yeah,
I still don't know.
I closed my put for a $20 loss. So now I'm just gonna ride this call and hopefully make some bank on it. It's a $6 call and it's making decent movement right now, right? Like where are we? 5:30. So I think that by the 20th, when we get an official announcement, I will probably get I will probably hit strike, and that will be worth enough to both make me a profit and cover my losses. So Neo, no, we're looking at Neo right now. I haven't looked at it yet, Pierre. I'm going to look at it right now. It's first on the list. NEO guys, NEO is the Chinese Tesla, essentially, is what they want to be labeled as and known as. You'll see that if you got into NEO in May at $3, you would be up 1,000% on it. I think this is the reality. So what people are playing on NEO guys is Biden is pro-China. And I know Dems are going to get up in my tits about saying that, but he was quite clear during the election. He sees China as an ally, not an enemy. So the tone and the negotiations for a second phase Chinese trade deal, expect them not to be so pro-US and expect them to be a lot more favorable for China. So NEO, I think, is going to do quite well on that. If I had to set a price target on NEO for the next year, I would say $80 by the end of the year. That's not this December. That's next December. For NEO to be up at around $80, I don't think that that's insane. That's kind of my thought process on where NEO is. It's not about NEO overtaking Tesla. It's more like how big is Facebook in China? It's not, right? Because Weibo is Weibo, and what's the other one? Douyu. But
China or whatever.
China has it. Yeah, WeChat a little bit, but it's not Facebook. Weibo and Douyu are the two big ones in China, but they're Chinese, which is why they do well. And as far as nationalism goes, China is huge on nationalism. So if somebody has to choose between buying a NEO vehicle or a Tesla vehicle, they're going to lean on NEO. It's just the way it is. So NEO's going to do quite well, I think. But I'm going to cross that off here. I don't have much insight into that past that. Biden is not going to be hard on China in trade negotiations. NEO is going to profit from that. I wouldn't be surprised either if we start to see NEOs being sold over here if they're not already. GLD guys, we're taking a look at gold. I honestly, I don't know that gold is a strong play over the next couple of weeks here. As we head into Biden taking hold of the government, at least the sentiment in the market seems to be positive. The market's going to do well under Biden, which means that those that were running to gold are probably going to be pulling out of those positions in my mind, right? Like that makes sense?
Stimulus.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, stimulus isn't until January, but in January we will see a stimulus. Yeah, there's a lot of people here saying that gold has a good chance.
Well, that and like dollar deflation.
Yeah, guys, I mean, if we look back to when the Fed was spending through April and May, did GLD go up? Yes, it did. But I mean, for me, I think that you see this continue to decline. I think you see this come back down to that 160, 150 range, in my opinion, on GLD. Also, the big thing that's coming up more and more and more, this isn't just us degens out there whispering in the wind. More and more people are saying that gold has died as the favorite safe haven, and people are looking more and more to crypto. It's crazy the amount of conversations that I've seen on, I mean, not just Bloomberg, but you hear about it on Fox Finance, you hear it on Yahoo Finance. A lot of people are just saying Bitcoin is becoming more and more attractive as a means to vault up your money. We know people here in chat that are doing that exactly. Now, for me, I'm too boomer for crypto, so I am also not directly in crypto. However, that being said, I am in Mara, which is essentially a crypto play. Bitcoin's doing quite well, and Mara's going with it. It's up 5.7 here, so green on my Mara position. That's just a long-term hold for me, I think, into April. I would love to increase my position once I get out of space on the launch, but for now, that's locked in. So ACRX is even on the day right now. I think as we get into the end of the day, it's going to be a little bit stronger. But as far as gold, that's it. That's all that I see with gold. VLX. What is VLX? Is this a cryptocurrency? Yeah, if it's not Bitcoin, I don't care. That's my insight on VLX. If it's not crypto, I don't care. If you're not first, you're last. And I know people are going to get up in my grill about that. Or it's like, well, what about Ethereum? What about? I don't care. If it's not Bitcoin, I'm not The only two cryptocurrencies that I am interested in, maybe three, would be Bitcoin, the digital yuan, and yeah, the Dogecoin. No, Dogecoin is not an interest to me. It would be Bitcoin, the digital yuan, and I am slightly interested in the Libra, just because there has been a few whispers from the U.S. government that it should consider working in collaboration with the private sector to do a U.S. digital currency, and Libra was in the whispers of being that. So, uh, yeah, ACB is getting nice tendies. Watch list ACB. Yeah, I mean 550. I just want all the retailers to pile in on this thing all day and take this thing back up to $10 for me, and then I can get out on a huge profit. That'd be great. If you guys can just do that, that'd be awesome. Ouch. Yeah. Trying to create a crypto coin. If you had done that early 2000s, sure, but now it's too late. We are past it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a good opportunity. It's looking like ACB is going to be in that Robinhood or Webull day where it might go up to 100% gains. Undervalued bio stocks. I can do a breakdown of how you find bio plays, and that's something that I've been meaning to create a video on for you guys. But I'll give you guys a breakdown of how I do that. Not right now. I'll go through the list first, but I will get to that. DraftKings. DraftKings guys. Some of the voting on the ballots was around pot. That got a lot of conversation, but also there are several new states that legalized sports betting. So Louisiana, South Dakota, Maryland, Nebraska, Colorado all voted into online gambling sports betting. DraftKings, I think, is well positioned to just continue to grow. The one thing I would be wary about with DraftKings, though, guys, is where Trump said we will never lock down the economy like we did again. Biden has not excluded that as a possibility. So just be wary of that, because if Biden locks down hard on COVID, saying this is how it should have been done, expect pro sports to go out the window, which would in turn have a huge effect on Penn, DraftKings, all sector. So be aware of that. Taking a look at net, this is one that we've looked at briefly before in the past. Cloudflare, they did well on their earnings. There's nothing that I really see on Cloudflare that's going to drive this through the roof. With the exception of what we had just talked about, where if Biden goes into a massive lockdown again, expect Cloudflare to do well because of its cloud services, where people are forced to go back into 100% remote. So you think Biden's going to put the lockdown hard, then net is a solid play. Mara, guys, for those of you that were asking about Mara, you didn't understand the play as I took it. I keep saying that it has something to do with Bitcoin, but then you guys go look at Mara and you're like, this doesn't say it's a Bitcoin stock. What are you talking about? Marathon Patent Group actually runs Bitcoin farms at the moment. So if you look at this, it says Marathon operates a digital asset technology company that mines cryptocurrencies. It mines digital assets in Quebec. Now, one of the reasons why this is important, guys, northern Quebec is quite a cold region, as you can imagine. So it's optimal for mining. This is what we see in Russia. This is what we see. And Quebec actually has probably the lowest redemption. What would you say? The lowest hydro rates in Canada?
I guess. I don't really know.
I know that Montreal, or that Quebec, has some of the best deals on selling its energy, and it receives federal subsidies for its energy as well. So it gets paid from the Canadian government to operate and create hydroelectric, but it also gets paid by New York State for its energy as well. So it drives their hydro prices right down. I think they're half of what we pay here in Ontario. So it makes it ideal for actually building crypto farms. The news that has me excited about this is, let's see if I can find the thing here. So they were already operating. They were already operating at a 110 terahash a second volume at 250. Okay, by April they will be producing 10 times that, 1.10 exahashes. That's right. keeping the miners cool is essential, and when you do it in places like California, you have to do that using energy to keep them cool, which takes away from your profits. Whereas it's a little bit less so in places like Russia and northern Canada, where they actually have a natural cooling system, where they just fan in cold air, which is a lot cheaper than you trying to refrigerate a server or a mining farm. But yeah, they're going to go to 10 times. What will happen to them when there is no more Bitcoin to mine? For me, this is a play into April, and I don't see Bitcoin running short of mining capability by then. But this is big for them to go 10x on their ability to mine, and they're doing so at a profit. Into April for this to go, I don't think it's going to go 10x. I don't think it's going to go to 25, but for this to come up to around $15 on that news, I think is going to go quite well. So for me, I will be continuing on Mara. My hope is that Bitcoin actually goes down a little bit when we get the presidential nomination or approval. eBay on earning whispers. Yeah, I can take a look at that. Yeah, so again, guys, the long-term state of Bitcoin, none of that matters. This is a play into April. I take on index funds. There. Any funds in particular that you're talking about, or just in the index funds in general? Next up, we're going to take a look at FRO. I'm just going down the list here, guys, so as you show things out, I do the breakdown on it, and we move forward down the list. What is up, Jimbo? The S&P, so SPY, MSCI, okay, SPY, ICE, MEX. Okay, FRO guys, crude oil and shipping. I'm not going to go anywhere near oil for the next little bit. Is my opinion on FRO. I'm not going anywhere near this shit. Super scary. Waiter 6. I think Waiter could run to 6 to 8 reasonably on its earnings. I think it's going to show another EBITDA positive earnings, and it will go back up to where it was last earnings when it ran up. Possibly a little bit further. But 6 to 8 I think is reasonable on it. DGLY. This is the play on riots and protests, guys. They did drop an announcement today regarding an update to their cloud. The reason why that's important is a lot of these... Interesting, that news isn't here. I thought for sure it would be here. Thank you, people love. That's the one I was looking for. I knew they had news today. That's a big jump. Yeah, that's what we made money on last time as well, was that big jump. There's a reason why we have a waiter icon for all you subs, because we played waiter before and made money. So, oh boy, waiter is this this emote right here, because we made a pile of money on it last time. And not we, because we don't trade together. I made a pile of money on it, and other people made a pile of money on it because they like the due diligence that was on it. And so I know that there have been people that have been offering their insights as to my analysis of the stock, but I got tendies to prove it. So this is a big deal that this update is here, because a lot of the footage that they are storing will be stored in the cloud. So for them to update their cloud servers is a big deal for Digital Ally heading into the new year, because I do believe that we will see Biden. There could be a WPRT remote even when I make bank on it. There could also be an upcoming space emote. There could be, I mean, ACRX, we already have Biopig, so I don't know that I'm going to create another one for that, but yeah, DGLY guys, there could be a federal mandate that body cameras and dashboard cameras must be used by all police forces. across the states, which would be huge for Digital Ally. As well, expect Biden to put in some criteria federally for screening on temperatures and whatnot, and that could be big for Digital Ally as well with ThermoView. So I think that they are a great long hold into the next 3 quarters as Biden starts to make laws demanding that people do certain things. TAN. Well, let me take a look at TAN. So again, guys, TAN has come down a little bit. Apparently, people are a little worried about their tendies and TAN, but Biden takes it. I wouldn't be. I think TAN could go as high as 100, depending on what Biden does with the energy sector. So it's up 9% today, 8.5% today. I expect this to do well. Don't be shocked for this to continue to run. Waiter earnings is estimated to be tomorrow. Nobody knows when waiter earnings are, though. It's just an estimate. They can drop them at any time. Bio stocks. So if somebody is looking for a low-cost bio play, the process that I've used in the past, this is not the only way to come up with bio plays, but the way that I do it is I go to the Biopharma Catalyst calendar. Once I am in here, what you can do is go to the Catalyst Counters FDA calendar.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir. And then what you'll see here are the next 150 drugs that are going to be evaluated. You can sort these by price, or you can sort these by phase. For me, the big money is often in the phase 3 reviews, so I sort them by their phases. I look at phase 3s. Once I hit the phase 3 reviews, I look for something in my price point. So GLYC. This is a big one. They failed to meet their endpoints in August. They have a presentation on December 7th. I would stay away from that one. November 16th, this one here. CBay has they're going to present their phase 3 data. So CBay was one that somebody requested down here. Their earnings don't matter as much as this presentation. When they present their phase 3 data, this will either soar or it will do nothing. So this is a potential strangle play. I like the entry on this. CBay is actually looking pretty solid. What's the name of the site? Biopharma Catalyst. Let me put it in chat here for you guys. So that's how I break it down. Phase 3 is where the money is at. Taking a look at the companies, and you can cost yourself what you think is going to happen. If just looking at this, it doesn't look clear to you which ones you want to grab, you can always go into, and I do recommend that you go deeper than just looking at this calendar. So once you go to CBay, find out the news, take a look at what's going on, take a look at the hype around it. You can head into StockTwits, type in CBay and see what the sentiment is around this. Sentiment is down, message volume is down. If there are earnings on CBay, let's see here. Earnings are going to be relatively small depending on their pipeline. So we'll go take a look at their pipeline here in a second. There may be a potential options play there on it with its phase 3 data coming in November 16th. It will come in just beforehand. I don't know if you get in before earnings though. I might wait for earnings to drop on this before I would enter a play on it. But again, go to their website, guys. Go take a look at the latest news on it. Read up on that. Go to their website. Every biosite out there that is a legitimate biosite, when you go in, they will have a pipeline. Go into their pipeline. And your pipeline shows you where exactly they are at with all of these. They're phase 3. They are currently not selling anything, so expect them not to do well on earnings. The only thing that might do well for them on earnings is guidance being provided regarding this phase 3. But once they've got a phase 3 here, now they're actually selling a drug, which takes Simobay from being a potential play or potential bio company to being a real bio company. These guys here, guys, they've got gut liver, and they're also just announcing that they're looking at a type 1 diabetes application for GPR 119. So there's a bunch of different plays here, but this is the big one. They can't start selling this drug, then they go back to offerings and they will take their stock back down to $2 in value. If they do well on phase 3, then they will go up to a real stock, a real bio stock, which would be $15 to $20. So it is a potential for a quick double up, but it's also potential to lose 75% of your investment. So this is why bio stocks, guys, are super risky for a lot of people. They stay out of them. They don't like to play them because of the inherent risk on them. They can either soar or they can die very quickly. And if you're not prepared for that, you have to be. ACB is tapering off a little bit here as we head into 10 o'clock. So expect it to see come down a little bit. People will profit take and then it'll go back up. Phase 3 is your FDA approval. That's right. That's not the right to advertise. That's your PDUFA, but phase 3 is approval to start selling it. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. That's how I break down bio plays if I was looking for new ones. I will be getting more into bio as we head into the new year again, now that elections and earnings are done. Some of the big ones that I am looking at, obviously, CBay is now looking very attractive, but there are some other plays heading into the new year. Gen X, GNPX, Mesoblast, MESO. Yeah, I can take a look at that. So that's CBay. As far as index funds go, I don't play SPY, guys. The majority of my plays are long equity. I do not play SPY. I do not play indexes because for me, what the market sentiment is going to do as a whole often is only really one of two plays. You're playing daily or weekly options on it and trying to optimize on the daily movement of it to make quick gains. I don't play that game with my options portfolio. I play my options like I play my equity long term. The other one is the investment option of just buy the SPY. So you don't worry about trading the stock market. You treat the SPY like you would a GIC with the government. You just buy the SPY, hold it forever on the assumption that the market will just continuously go up. Now, the theory behind that is, let me pull this up so you guys can see it. TV. If your portfolio is not beating the SPY, this could be a viable option for you. And this is something that a lot of people do. They just buy the SPY. If you had, in 2011, just bought the SPY and held it, you would have bought shares at 125, and they would have just gone up. And even with these massive dips, you still would be okay. You'd still be making a profit. So the theory behind this is just buy the SPY and hold it, because over time it just continues to go up and up and up. I can look at Clow, not a problem there. I'm completely new to the stock market. What advice do you have? I don't have any financial advice, and I wouldn't tell you anything to do with plays. What I do recommend that you do is a deep dive on Investopedia. Just start to ask a lot of questions. Start watching streamers or listening to financial people. And when there are terms that you don't understand what they're talking about, go onto Investopedia and research and learn the market. I would recommend that you take anywhere from 6 months to 8 months to actually learn what's going on in the market. Even when you finally decide that you want to play the market, go speak to a financial advisor, see what they have to say as far as your current circumstances, start saving up to get into the market. And then for me, typically, if you're going to self-manage your portfolio, you'd want to find an industry that you're familiar with, and one that you either work in or one that you are a massive consumer in, and play the market that you know. Yeah, definitely what Bitalist is saying is there are a lot of scam courses out there that we will teach you for $800 how to do this, or the other. There's so much free knowledge out there, so much free knowledge out there, that's not necessary. Between YouTubers, Twitch streamers, PDFs, books, like it, there's so much knowledge readily available for you. It's not necessary for you to be dropping money on these $5,000 courses that don't really teach you much of anything other than to trade penny stocks, which I wouldn't recommend you do anyway. So, yeah, learn would be the big thing. Spend 6 to 8 months learning and saving up to get started. Hopefully that helps, man. There's a lot of people that see movies like Margin Call or Wall Street or Rogue Trader or whatever it may be, and they think that trading the market is just easy, right? Like, oh, buy, sell. Look, I made a whole pile of money. That's not how this works. It is a job. You have to work it. You have to learn. You have to. You're constantly learning, which is one of the things that I love about this. Is I find a lot of people that trade the market are very knowledgeable in everything that's going on in the world, both politically, financially, even now ecologically. Yeah, how to make $500 a day, have $1 million in equities, and just collect the dividends. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Martini is really solid content, guys. She's somebody that I have learned a lot from, while at the same time helping her to create some pretty cool stuff. Our forecast that we did on Maslow's hierarchy, so that is kind of what I trade on, is cultural psychology, macro culture psychology. If you guys haven't read this book, I highly recommend you read this one, The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle. This is a big one for understanding mass market psychology. I highly recommend that you guys take a look at that and give it a read. It will help you understand how large groups of people react differently than smaller groups of people. And kind of my thought process is, guys, never drink only from one well. There's lots of water. Price target on Waiter, $6 to $8. What's Waiter doing today? Waiter's up to 3. So it's pretty good. Ghost Orb, a gifted a sub to Dreyer. A huge thank you, Ghost Orb. Huge thank you. You're on the board, sir. GXO has 2 gifts. Ghost Orb has 1. We've got a gifting battle. Dun dun dun. You rock. Meso, yeah, Meso's next on my. Actually, SBE's next on my list. But as far as index guys go, index trading is great for daily, weekly options if you're a degen that likes doing that. As far as a long-term trading position in equity, the idea of buy the SPY and hold it forever is kind of the trading strategy on that. I don't really do either of those, so I would have to say that I personally am not a fan of trading indexes. However, it is definitely a trading strategy that's out there. Okay, SBE, guys. Let's head over to SBE and see what's happening there, and then I will do Meso and Clue. So Meso is one of the hype stocks. This is one that retailers have traded in the past, so I would be cautious and wary about that. It's a bit of a COVID play, which is a concern for me because COVID plays are not worth it. So if that's all that it's riding on is a COVID play, I would probably stay away from it. But let's open up their pipeline and take a look at what they're doing here. So again, product candidates, science, company, where's their pipeline? There it is. So they have 1 phase 3 and 2 approaching phase 3. Grunenthal's a big company. At $11 with 1 already in phase 3 and registration and 2 more potential phase 3s coming to an end shortly, I would be bullish on this. I would be bullish on Meso. Again, same thing that I had just touched on, but $11 with a phase 3 drug already in approval, and then 2 more potentials already coming through, as well as whatever position they may have in COVID. This is looking like a half decent play. So CBay and Meso are both now on my list for looking at bio plays over the next couple of weeks here. Clou, CLOU. Actually, I didn't look at SPE, and I said I was going to look at Switchback Energy Acquisition Corporation. Okay. Whenever I see this, guys, typically as a rule of thumb, I avoid it. Now, FSR I did play, but this is something I typically avoid. SEAC does not have significant operations. It intends to identify and acquire companies through merger capital. So this is a SPAC company. They are looking to be a SPAC. So this is the latest EV SPAC. Is that what we're looking at here? For me, this EV SPAC thing has lost its luster. That it's already gone up to 15. I don't know that I would play this one. Now you'd have to go into this and at 15, I don't like this. At 8, I do. With SPE, guys. Wow. CLOU. I'm going to throw the disclaimer in here, guys. Again, I am just a degen. I am not a financial advisor. My insights in nowhere to be taken as financial advice. Do your own damn due diligence. Make your own trades. You are responsible for yourself. I am not responsible for you. This is on you guys to do the due diligence. What I'm showing you here is what I do when I'm going to take a look at a stock. This is what I would do is I would go in, I would look at the company, I would look at the news. If that looks appealing, I would dig deeper, heading into even SEC filings, which if you guys have never done that before, you better get on it. TTCF. So yeah, with cloud guys, global cloud computing. It's an ETF. Cloud computing ETF. So for me, guys, my take on ETFs is ETFs, if you are a lock it and leave it kind of trader, these are viable. But for me, as somebody who's here during the day, I'm watching stocks, I'm watching the market, I'm watching my positions. For me, ETFs are less appealing. I would rather actually break down what's in the ETF, see what's been really successful for them, and trade that specifically, that specific ticker, instead of an ETF as a whole. Now, if you're a lock and leave it kind of trader, you know, you've got a full-time job, you're not with the market all day, you're not watching your position, something like this is quite appealing, especially if we are looking at a second lockdown through Biden. So there is decent potential with clouds to lock and leave it, but I would rather break down the ETF. Tattooed Chef. Okay, so this is one that I've seen come up before. I'm not a huge fan of Tattooed Chef only because I'm in Waiter. It's a California-based company that sells niche food, luxury food. I don't know that it's worth 25. I don't like it. I mean, at 15, I like it. At 10, I like it. At 18, 50, I'm not a huge fan. This is trying to cash in on that Beyond Meat kind of thing. It's just not something that is appealing or of interest to me. Is there a play in it? Yeah, I think there is a meat shortage globally, and there's a play in it, but I don't know why I wouldn't take Beyond versus Tattooed Chef. I think Beyond is going to be the winner over Tattooed Chef. Even though I guess the only time you take this is if you don't have a ton of capital and you're looking to take a low entry into the sector. Is this going to go up slowly over time? Sure. But I think that 28 is the high. I think that's what it builds itself up to over the next couple of quarters. I don't think it goes much beyond that, to be honest. But that's it, guys. We are through the list. That's all the tickers that you guys had mentioned, so that's fantastic. Let's go back and take a look at what the market's doing here. I'll pull up. So ACB's come down a little bit. We should see into 11 o'clock here. We'll run back up to that 540 level. GameStop is up 8% today. This is not a surprise on Nintendo news. This was expected by me anyway. Waiter is up 6.5%. ACRX is still just floating this $1.84, which is very, very interesting. I thought for sure that we would see more of a run on it. But Wader's doing quite well. I'm going to go grab a coffee, guys. I will be right back. Okie dokie. So we've got a relatively green board here. This is so interesting to me that ACRX is not running into their earnings tonight. Let's check tip ranks here. Trump just tweeted, huh? Any vote that came in after election day will not be counted. This one has already been flagged. He can't say that. Okay, so essentially it's a tantrum. That's what we're seeing here is a tantrum. There's no new news here. We knew that this was the play from the go, that anything that was counted after election night shouldn't have been counted. That was the legal case that he was going to make. Georgia is looking to finish its count by noon. There's only 0.5% between them now. If Georgia goes to Biden, he will have the necessary votes. No, he'll be one vote off. one electoral seat off of the election, but I think that they will give him the election. No, it's not the exact same case. It's a little bit different. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Republicans have picked up 6 seats in the House. They've lost 1 seat in the Senate. People still are saying, though, it looks like it will be a red Senate. Georgia later today is going to be big. If Georgia goes for Trump. Now, Trump is saying in his tweet that they're calling Pennsylvania, which would take him to 234, North Carolina, which would take him to 249, and Georgia, which would take him to 265 for Trump. Add in the other 3 here, that would take him to 269, which then makes Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Nevada crucial for either of them. These guys here. But we will see what we will see here, guys. Wisconsin and Michigan are both currently being given to Biden by the Associated Press. So we will wait and see. But I don't want to do too much in that today. There was something else that I was going to look at. What was it? Trump tweet got me sidetracked. I was hopping out of here to tip ranks. Yeah, he's already requested a recount in Wisconsin. There will be one request for a recount in Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina. Anywhere that's less than 1% between them, expect there to be a recount. Portfolio's looking good on here. This guy is still here. Like this guy drives me nuts. Yeah, he really is. And I mean, my issue is like, for anybody that knows bio, to look at this portfolio, it's like, okay, Gilead, Amgen, Biogen, like good for you. That's like saying you're playing tech and you're currently holding Google, Facebook, and Netflix. Like, okay, you pick the best stocks in the market and you just hold those. Like VOTX, MRTX, like these are the big bio stocks. This is not a huge deal. A lot of people do. A lot of people do shadow these guys. My thing with these guys is, I mean, you guys judge for yourself. It's right there, 48% success rate. That's true. I've never been on Bloomberg, so he must be doing it right. But in my mind, for you to just offer your insights on the top 4 stocks in the biosector is not revolutionary. For you to pick Gilead while everybody else to say a hold is kind of interesting. There is a lot of thoughts around that, Saki, that somebody with a low success rate is trying to manipulate it. But I started trading in January, but on tip ranks, guys, what happened with tip ranks for anybody that's looking at the public profile here? So for anybody that's looking at the profile, I started using TipRanks back in May. I had a conversation with a great team over at TipRanks. They offered to let me use the ultimate package on TipRanks in order to showcase it here on stream. I was more than happy to do that because I do like the tool. Unfortunately, what I failed to realize was I